Why do I love Ethereum? Well, based on economic performance, it should be the #1 blockchain, as the dApps that inhabit it are just straight up dominating the other chains. So are you ready for my breaker of chains? Well, I ain't no Daenerys Targaryen, but it's time for Chico Crypto. So, crypto fees showed that the Ether blockchain produced over 27 million in fees for the miners 24 hours yesterday. Next highest competitor is Bitcoin, which only is pushing over 9 million. Since these are both proof-of-work blockchains, this basically means Ethereum has 3 times the level of economic activity than that of BTC. Thus, pulling out the BTC dominance chart over the markets in relation to Ethereum, we can see things don't make sense just based on this statistic. A wide gap sits between the two. To be exact, a 42% gap between dominance levels to this day. Last bull run in the middle of 2017, this gap came close to closing. BTC at about 38% dominance, while ETH was at about 31%. Just 7% sat in between the two, and ETH gave it another try, a flip at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. What was the reason for this? Ethereum pushing up and eating into Bitcoin's dominance like that? Well, back in 2017, it was called the ICO. Ethereum was the place to launch a new crypto project called the ICO back in 2017 due to the ERC-20 standard. As we can see in 2017, ICO funding bubbled like mad, started going crazy in the middle of 2017 and making years past look like peanuts, and then peaking at the end of the year 2017. At its peak, ICO funding reached over 1 billion in 1 month. December 2017, and this was majority all on top of Ethereum, basically none on top of Bitcoin, as it didn't have a token contract like ERC-20. These stats, this narrative, helped Ethereum reach that dominance peak. ICO fever back then is so similar to the DeFi, NFT, and Finance 2.0 sickness we see today. ICO funding at the 2017 peak was just over 1 billion in 1 month. Going back to crypto fees, of course today, Ethereum's base protocol is pushing out over 27 million in a single day, but its top DeFi application, Uniswap, is also pushing out over 4 million per day alone. Now 27 million multiplied by the days in a month gives us 837 million in 1 month. Let's just add on a single top DeFi application to that number, Uniswap. 4 million times 31 gives us right around that 1 billion number. The DeFi sickness over a month today is just as bad as ICO fever back at its peak in 2017. So in my opinion, Ethereum hasn't even began its run into Bitcoin's dominance, as the next highest fee-paying dApp or blockchain on crypto fees is all Ethereum dApps: Compound, Sushi, Aave, Bancor, Balancer, Ren. But Uniswap, producing the 3rd largest amount of economic activity, yet if you go to CoinGecko, it's ranked out of the top 10, falling to number 11. Remember, crypto fees has Uniswap at over 4 million per day. Do those that rank higher on CoinGecko rank higher in economic activity? Oh hell nah, crypto fees lists each. Uniswap outdoes rank number 10 Bitcoin Cash and rank number 9 Litecoin by extremely large margins. Uniswap also outdoes rank number 8 Polkadot and rank number 7 Cardano by about the same margins. And number 6 Doge, number 4 XRP, and number 3 Binance Chain, pretty much just as bad. Uniswap dominating by blistering numbers. Thus, those ranked higher, I see a major imbalance there, and I hope the markets do too. But regarding Uniswap, I've noticed the value being traded through it each day. Last summer, 24-hour trading volumes were in the millions. But as that year came to a close and throughout 2021, Uniswap is pushing billions of value through the protocol each day. Billions of dollars of value being captured through Uniswap each day, which might just steadily increase into the tens of billions with version 3 of the platform. 16 days from now, just 16 days, the E3 drops on the Ethereum mainnet. Everyone knows the blog they dropped last month, which included the white paper, and I've had some time to digest it, and it reveals a lot, but leaves many questions unanswered, so I'm going to try to answer those questions. What it reveals is exactly what the white paper says. Uniswap v3 provides increased capital efficiency and fine-tuned control to liquidity providers, improves the accuracy and convenience of the price oracle, and has a more flexible fee structure. And then in the introduction, it says this: it gives liquidity providers more control over the price ranges in which their capital is used, with limited effect on liquidity fragmentation and gas inefficiency. What they are saying is these changes are not going to affect gas prices on the mainnet in any negative way, increase them, but they don't say anything about positive changes, like reduction in gas prices. That is absent from the white paper as well as the V3 blog. So no reduction if things stay the same. Users of the swap still could be paying over $55 for a transaction come May 5th? What the freak? What gives, Uniswap? Whoa, hodl onto your horses. That may not be true, and V3 could be seeing some downright astonishing things. Going back to the V3 white paper, they show the authors, which of course includes founder Hayden, but also a Moody Salem. Now, Uniswap v3 has the core contracts, which are described in that white paper and blog, but it also contains the periphery contracts, which are going to allow it to do so many other things. The GitHub for the periphery is open, describing them and showing who is contributing. Going to insights on these contracts, we can see the #1 contributor is Moody Salem from the core white paper. Okay, Moody's the leader of periphery. Now within a GitHub, a good place for research is the issues, as it shows what's being trialed and errored of the code, aka what's possibly coming next within protocols. As we can see from the issues within the periphery, there's one called Gasless Swaps and Mints. Clicking into it, it was opened by none other than Moody Salem. As we can see, Moody opened this on March 3rd. What did Moody tweet that same day? He mysteriously tweeted out that smart contract devs should be aware of a code pattern in absence of batch transactions, linking to EIP 2711, which is to implement just those, batch transactions for gas savings. Well, that specific batched EIP isn't passed, and there's actually a new front runner taking its place and being discussed, EIP 3074. Just discussions though. All that means is batch transactions won't be ready in a couple of weeks by the time Uniswap v3 goes live. But you want to know what is ready? Not batched, but bundled transactions from Flashbots. The GitHub for those is open within Flashbots, but they are described within the Flashbots PM under Alpha. They say, on January 6, 2021, we entered Flashbots alpha phase by establishing a proof of concept communication channel between traders, searchers, and miners. This proof of concept is made of two components, MEV Geth, a slightly modified fork of the Ethereum Geth client, and MEV Relay, a transaction bundle relayer. The first step of how it works says how it works. Searchers send Flashbots bundles to MEV Relay. A bundle contains one or several transactions that can be the searchers and or other users pending transactions from the meme pool, and a sealed tip that is paid by the searcher to the miner via a smart contract call. Bundles. Well, March 12th, 9 days after Moody posted within GitHub about gasless swaps and mints for Uniswap v3, someone tweeted something very telling in my opinion, and Alex Manuskin said, Flashbots gives you superpowers. Here's a cool trick of gasless transactions made possible by Flashbots bundles. In this case, swap ERC20 for ETH without owning any ETH. At the bottom of the tweet thread, he shouts out those he couldn't have accomplished this without. Many interesting characters. Number 1, the Ghost Step, Stefan Goslin of Flashbots and Alchemist coin. Number 2, Phil Daian, who we only know as Flashbots. But then 2 more people we should focus on. Zhen, Tina Zhen, and Georgios Konstantopoulos. Why? Well, they are all referenced in the Flashbots' initial Ether research post. Daian and Zhen, stewards of Flashbots, while Georgios is a feedback contributor. So first, Daian of Flashbots, is he an alchemist? Well, going to his Twitter, he kind of gave it away for both himself and Tina, retweeting Zhen saying this: "Aren't we all alchemists?" With her doing some glasswork alchemy, retweeting the ghost step, Stefan retweeting someone getting an alchemist tattoo. Alchemistception? Obvious to me, they be alchemists, whose Flashbots technology allowed Alex Manuskin to create gasless transactions March 12th, 9 days after Sam Moody of Uniswap was looking at V3 being able to accomplish just that. So I wonder if Alchemist Coin put out a roadmap of what entities involved with them were working on. March 7th, they tweeted a gasless DEX might just be in the works. But what about Gorgeous Georgios Konstantopoulos? Who in the heck is that? He was referenced in the Flashbots Ether research post as a feedback contributor. But is he really just that, or is he involved more with Flashbots? Well, the Flashbots put together their most recent meeting just last month. From the agenda, it had a special guest, Vitalik Buterin, but as we can see, presentation number 1 was given by Georgios on Ethereum block space market structure. So yeah, to this day, Georgios is involved, which is confirmed. April 10th, the Ghost Step tweeted, "Overheard from a major mining pool. Flashbots is cause of recent low gas prices as traders shut down their PGA bots," with Georgios replying, "This makes sense and why." So Georgios is connected to Flashbots. Who does he work for? Well, of course, Paradigm. He is a research partner. I wonder if that gorgeous guy is working with something else, like Uniswap V3 periphery contracts. There he is, listed as a contributor. And that is how you dig and make the connections. Cheers, I'll see you next time.